Have you ever had the feeling that your cat was trying to tell you something? Not loudly, not dramatically, but in a way that kept repeating over and over again. A look, a pause, a quiet visit, a slow blink, a moment when they came close and then left. Most people see those things and move on. They think, that is just what cats do. That is just a habit. That is just another weird little cat behavior. But what if it is not? What if your cat has been doing the emotional equivalent of knocking softly on the same door for years, and the heartbreaking part is not that you ignored it, but that you never knew it was a message in the first place? Because that is the thing about cats. They rarely beg for understanding. They adapt instead. They become quieter, more careful, more subtle. And if you do not understand the first signal, they usually do not become louder. They become smaller. That is why so many cat owners deeply love their cats and still miss what matters most. Not because they are bad owners, not because they do not care, but because cats do not ask for emotional safety in the way humans expect. They ask through behavior, through distance, through timing, through the way they enter your space and the way they protect themselves inside it. And if you have ever looked at your cat and felt like there was something deeper behind the silence, you were probably right. Because your cat may not have been waiting for more toys, more treats, or more affection in the obvious sense. Your cat may have been waiting for something much quieter, something more important, a way of being with them that feels safe enough for them to fully soften. And once you understand that, some of the most ordinary things your cat does start to feel completely different. Not random, not cold, not confusing, but emotionally precise. So let's go deeper, because the first sign often shows up in one of the most common moments between a human and a cat. 1. Your cat comes into the room. Then, does nothing. This happens all the time. You are sitting on the bed, working at your desk, standing in the kitchen, and your cat walks in, stops, looks at you, maybe sits down, maybe lies down nearby, and then nothing. No meowing, no obvious request, no dramatic behavior, just presence. And most people miss the meaning of that, because humans tend to value action. If someone comes to us, we expect a reason. But cats do not always come to get something. Sometimes they come to feel something, to check the emotional temperature of the room, to confirm where you are, to place themselves near your energy without forcing contact. This is important, because for a cat, shared space is not empty space. It is relational space. A cat that enters your room and quietly stays there is often saying, I want to be near you without having to defend myself. That is not a small thing. That is trust in one of its softest forms. But people often misunderstand it. They call the cat over too fast, pick it up, start petting immediately, turn a quiet connection into an active one. And sometimes the cat tolerates it. But tolerance is not the same as ease. If this happens too often, your cat learns to hesitate, to approach with caution, to stay at the door instead of settling beside you, not because it stopped loving you, but because being near you started to feel less readable. Takeaway line: sometimes your cat is not coming to ask for attention. It is coming to ask if it can feel safe near you. Your cat watches you before deciding how close to get. A lot of cat owners know this stare. Your cat is somewhere nearby, maybe on the floor, maybe on the chair, maybe in the hallway, and it is watching you, not intensely in an aggressive way, but carefully, measuring, reading, waiting. Many people call this mysterious, but it is actually deeply emotional. Cats do not just study movement, they study state. They notice the speed of your steps, the weight of your breathing, the sharpness of your gestures, the tension in your voice, the difference between tired you and calm you and distracted you. So when your cat watches you, it is often deciding one important thing: which version of you is here right now? That question changes everything, because it means your cat is not simply reacting to routine, it is reacting to your nervous system. And in homes where the emotional atmosphere is gentle, cats often become more open, more curious, more physically affectionate, more willing to stay. But in homes where the energy shifts, suddenly frustration, noise, fast-reaching hands, inconsistent responses, the cat becomes more strategic, more watchful, more selective. Still loving, maybe. Still attached, absolutely. But no longer careless with its softness. And that is the tragedy of being slightly misunderstood by a cat. The bond still exists, but the cat gives you a more protected version of itself. Takeaway line: your cat is not only learning your habits, it is learning whether your energy feels safe to enter. 3. Your cat chooses you at specific times of day. Have you noticed that some cats seem more affectionate only at certain times late at night? Early in the morning, when the house gets quiet, when you finally stop moving, when your phone is down, when your voice is softer. People often think that is just routine. And yes, routine matters, but emotionally something deeper is happening. Cats often choose connection when the human becomes easier to read. During the noisy parts of the day, you may be physically present, but emotionally scattered. Your body is there. Your attention is not. Your cat feels that. So it waits. Then night comes. The room gets slower. Your breathing changes. Your movement softens. Your mind stops pushing outward. And suddenly your cat appears. Not because it became affectionate out of nowhere, but because now you finally feel approachable. That changes how you should read those nighttime cuddles. They are not always random. Sometimes they are your cat's version of saying, "This is the version of you I feel safest meeting." And if you only think my cat gets clingy at night, you may miss the tenderness of that truth. Because your cat may not be asking for more hours with you. It may be asking for more calm inside the hours you already share. If that hits a little deeper than expected, take a second to like the video and subscribe to Felicchio, because the second half matters even more, and it may explain why some cats love deeply but still pull away right when the moment starts to feel close. Takeaway line: sometimes your cat does not love the night more. It loves the calmer version of you that appears in it. 4. Your cat gets close, then leaves first. This is one of the most misunderstood things cats do. They come to you, rub against your leg, jump onto the couch, maybe even start purring, and then just when it feels like the moment is opening, they leave. Fast, cleanly, almost like they changed their mind. Humans often feel rejected by this, but rejection is usually not the real story. Control is. Cats feel safest in connection when they know they can leave it on their own terms. That freedom protects their nervous system, because closeness is only relaxing if it does not suddenly turn into pressure. Too much petting, too much holding, too much following, too much assumption that if you came here, you must want more. So many cats develop a pattern: approach, connect, exit before the moment changes. And after enough repetition, owners call the cat aloof, independent, emotionally inconsistent. But sometimes that cat is not inconsistent at all. Sometimes it is beautifully consistent. It is saying, "I want this. I just do not trust where it goes after this." That is a painful sentence, because it means love may be present, but full ease is not. And when a cat does this for years, it starts shaping the entire relationship. The cat keeps the bond brief. The human assumes that is just personality, and a deeper form of closeness never fully develops. Takeaway line: when your cat leaves first, it may not be ending the moment. It may be protecting the part of it that still felt safe. 5. Your cat interrupts you when you become emotionally unavailable. There is a reason your cat often appears at the exact wrong time. When you open the laptop, when you take a call, when you start focusing on something else, when your body is in the room but your mind has gone somewhere far away. That interruption is not always neediness. It is often sensitivity. Cats notice relational shifts fast. They feel when your attention hardens, when the room is still physically shared but emotionally closed. And that is often the moment they step in. On the keyboard, across your path, into the doorway, against your hand. Not necessarily because they need something concrete, but because they feel the disconnect as it happens. And for many cats, those little interruptions are not demands. They are reconnect attempts, a soft protest against disappearance, not physical disappearance, emotional disappearance. If that sounds too deep for such a small behavior, think about how cats live. They do not have language. They do not negotiate emotionally with words. They work with timing, position, distance, repetition. So of course interruption becomes part of the message. It is one of the few ways they can place themselves back into your awareness. And if those attempts are always brushed off harshly, the cat learns something. Not that you hate it, but that once your attention closes, there is no gentle way back in. Takeaway line: your cat may not be interrupting your task. It may be trying not to lose you inside it. 6. Your cat keeps returning. Anyway, this may be the most emotional point of all, because not every cat expresses love dramatically. Some cats do it quietly, repeatedly, almost invisibly. They come into your room, leave, come back later, sleep in a place that smells like you, sit with their back to you but still near, check on you without fanfare, appear when you are sad, disappear when you are okay, and then do it all again the next day. People often underestimate this, because it is not cinematic, not clingy, not loud. But this kind of returning can be one of the deepest forms of attachment a cat shows. Cats return to what regulates them, to what feels familiar, to what helps their system settle. So when your cat keeps returning to you, even quietly, that is not a weak signal. That is a profound one. It means your presence matters even when nothing obvious is happening, even when you are not entertaining them, even when you are not petting them, even when you are just being there. And maybe that is what your cat has been waiting for you to understand, that the real bond was never built only in the dramatic moments, not in gifts, not in constant touching, not in forcing affection, but in whether your presence feels soft enough for your cat to keep choosing it, again and again and again. So if your cat still comes into your room, still watches you, still returns after all the times you did not fully understand, that is not nothing, that is patience. That is trust surviving misunderstanding. That is a quiet heart, still trying to meet you. So tonight, when your cat does one of those small things, comes close but does not ask for touch, watches you before approaching, appears only when the world gets quiet, leaves first, interrupts your focus, or returns without explanation, try not to reduce it to just a cat thing, because maybe your cat has been saying one message through all of them. Not love me louder, not give me more, but please be gentle enough that I do not have to protect myself from closeness. And honestly, that may be one of the most beautiful and painful truths about cats. They do not always ask for more love. Sometimes they ask for a safer shape of it. So tell me in the comments 1. If your cat often comes near you, but seems to want peace more than touch. 2. If your cat watches you like it is reading your emotional state. 3. If this video made you realize your cat may have been asking for a gentler kind of closeness all along. Because the more you understand a cat, the more you realize this. They were never emotionless, never random, never just weird. They were careful, sensitive, quietly sincere. And maybe the deepest thing a cat ever does is continue trying to connect with you, even after being misunderstood in 100 tiny ways. That is what makes their love so moving. It does not arrive with speeches. It arrives with presence, with patience, with small returns, with soft eyes, with fragile courage. And if you learn to see that, you do not just understand your cat better. You become someone your cat can finally relax around. And for a cat, that may be one of the greatest forms of love a human can give.